Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Duck Derby 2025. I am DM 1981. Alongside me in the booth tonight is Dark Moon EX. How you doing tonight, Dark Moon?
I'm doing great, honestly. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a fun one. We are doing the Duck Derby, our new player showcase. They all just went through the boot camp. They are now ready to showcase their stuff and get their flippers real wet and show us just how they can perform here on stream for Final Fantasy Randomizer. Got a good crop of ducks this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we have. The flags today that we're going to be running, that everyone gets to see and enjoy, is going to be Oops No Mages, or aka Mage on a Stick. You're gonna see here that we've got a bunch of not mages. There are no mages available in the flag set. There's also no magic shops available in the flag set. And the only thing they're gonna have for magic is the items they find, because all weapons cast magic.
Other than that, it's mostly pretty normal scaling, pretty normal other other things.
As
It's
normal as
mostly
anything can be without any mages, yeah.
Right. This is true. Ice, Ordeals, Marsh are vanilla incentive locations. Earth Cave is random post rod. Volcano is random shallow, which means it'll be somewhere on the armory floor. Sea Shrine is random unlocked. With Mermaid Prison on, that means it will not be on Mermaid Floor, and it will not be in TFC. Sky Palace Random Sky, Corneria Locked Vanilla. Massa, X-Cal, and Ribbon are our specialty incentive items.
Those will be nice to have. Since we have all warriors, they should be able to use them. And it's just a real nice thing of, with all weapons cast magic, you're going to be getting a lot of those buff spells that you'd expect. And since they're all on the weapons, they're going to be pretty well limitless to use. So long as you have them in your inventory, your buffed people with their buffs weapons are going to be feeling, well, really buff.
Well, but the trick to that is, since the weapon names are all going to be replaced with the spells they cast, you're going to have to actually look at the stats and classes that can use to be able to figure out what weapon is what.
Yeah, we're probably going to see them checking status fairly regularly with any weapon that they pick up, especially with the blurstings just being on the weapons too. Checking the stats, checking to see how they work, who can equip them, who can use them, how it's all going to work together. And then they have to remember all that, which, from experience, you can have all the great swords in the world, but if you're like, I don't need a fire tooth sword anymore, and you throw out the katana or the maza, all things I've done in the race, it can get to you. So you've got to be on top of your game with something like this. It's not the easiest flag set. Fun, but not always easy.
Agreed. I'll also give a shout out to our Platimus Prime Mechlin 89 and my fellow Duckling Donia, Rax, who are tracking tonight.
Duckling Donia, I like that. That's good.
So we are getting close to start time.
Yep, we're just waiting on them right now. It should be any minute now.
But we see, while I'm thinking about it, let's talk about these blurstings. Fighter gets an extra 15 agi. Thief gets clean magic, and black belts can equip the shirts. Kind of a nothing burger on the black belt, but the other two are pretty nice.
Yeah. I think the key really for these right now is, as nice as the blurstings are, it's what are the early weapons, what are they going to be getting when they start digging stuff up, what's in the shops, because this is one of those few flag sets where, at least for weapons, I'd be checking shops. What is available to them early on so that they can start building their complementary loadout to do both physical damage as well as that magic damage. That, beyond the blurstings, is really the key for me on what characters to take and what I'm going to be doing. I mean, we see here, Franklin has the 3-man, which is an interesting play. You're going to get more experience on the 3 of them, but it also does mean that if any one character dies, you're that much closer to death. No one likes that. We have slightly more complementary parties, maybe for like Pac-Man, who's got the 2 black belts plus Thief and Fighter. I think they're expecting that they're going to want someone that's a little more fist capable, since the black belt doesn't have to equip weapons. You're not risking what you're going to be able to find or what's available. Also, Vaughn has the 3-man, but he went 2 thieves and with a fighter instead of 2 fighters with a thief. I could honestly see for Vaughn, for example, him just burning off one of those thieves later in the game and 2-manning it if that's something that he's like really itching for. Definitely a lot of experience for the 2 that would matter and would make the endgame faster, theoretically. And then Siberian, we see, has a similar party to Pikmin, or Pac-Man, or however that's called. I always just say Pac-Man. But he's got his characters distributed a little bit differently, which I think means that the black belts in his party are more likely to eat dirt.
And we are off.
Away and running.
I like the idea of taking a black belt. It was a fire 2 sword of some kind that is fighter usable off the get-go.
Also only usable by a ninja and a red mage. I think that's a decent sword, but I didn't quite see the stats on it. And the ruby is available here. Now you're going to see them wandering up to the top left.
Oh.
Not because of their...
Lefane has one of the weapons, and it's fast +7.
It's lovely. And with the temper swords we already have here, that's most of your endgame loadout right there. I was just going to say, you're going to see them going up, not because there's magic shops, because of course the magic shops are off, but there are hint givers still on, as we just discussed, so going up to the upper left and other places you might not go in towns is still necessary.
Yes. And Pac-Man using one of our fun percent flags with the Titan eating different stuff. In his case, in Pac-Man's case, mutton.
I do love a good mutton, lettuce, and tomato.
When the mutton is nice and lean, and the tomatoes
so perky.
Yes.
You know, I learned...
it looks like there's an encounter right off of the hard reset, too.
Yeah, immediately off of, which is nice to burn.
Nice to burn also opens up the possibility of a desert grind.
It does. There are 5 zones.
Belts.
Yep, there are 5 zones over by Mirage Tower that are capable of being ground in. They will be shuffled. So there's a good possibility of finding blue stakes or sandworms or something else that's killable. So for those that took black belts, that might be a slightly better option for them. That's definitely what you want to see when you have a black belt in your stash.
Yes. When I see a flag set like Mage on a Stick, like no mages, it makes me want to take a black belt just in case, because then if I find a great grind before I find great gear, then I take my grind and black belt to the moon. That's a crystal from the king and a key from Sarah.
Key is nice because you can already check Canaria locked and start burning off some of these locked rooms that you might want to be hitting for gear or for key items.
Yeah.
Notable also, zombies here in Topher have fire too. So normally that's not a spell we care about that much. We can shrug it off because damage isn't that great. But when you're only level 1, that hurts.
Yeah, when you're only level 1, you can't shrug that off.
You can't. No.
Ice Cluster and Floater.
So we just need that canoe now.
So we need that canoe, and we can potentially get a black belt grind off the ground.
Yeah, Floater this early is everything you want. Like, that was pretty much the earliest you could get it, short of it being on King or Princess. Like, and it practically was, because you got the key. It was like, literally like, oh, I'm gonna make you walk 10 extra steps to get your airship. Oh no. Now, on your point about black belts, I do want to agree to a certain extent. Early grind like that you could just do, especially if we can get Floater up, that sounds fantastic. The only counterpoint I would make is that Temper Daggers are right there, at Canaria. Like, any fist you can punch with is just going to be equivalent to, 2 or 3 tempers thrown on a fighter. Like, your damage is limitless already, and in a fast flag set, which this is already setting up to be, I don't know that I necessarily feel like the black belt's the best investment.
That's fair.
It's a group race. It's not a one-on-one. You got to balance out the needs of your race there. And from experience, the more time you spend grinding, the less time you have in a group. Like, it goes fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a valid concern.
So we got Crystal and Handle ready, so we're moving up to Matoya.
I'm predisposed to one.
Oh well,
and that's a canoe.
There you go. So we're in the air. So let's discuss it this way. You are now in the air. You know where your incentives are. You know where you need to go and what to do. What's your first step, DM?
You're gonna hate it. You're
What?
gonna hate what I'm gonna say.
Which
My
is?
first step is to go up and check the desert zones.
Not immediately for me, and my only reason is you go ahead.
With the encounter, like a step or two off of a hard reset, I can check desert zones real quick.
I get that. I'm not debating that that's a good idea. What I am debating is the idea that that's the first thing that I would be doing, because I don't think right now at my levels and with the gear I have that I could take out a sandworm or a blue stake. For me, I might want to check some areas where I could pick up some extra EXP chests, like we just saw in Matoya, or some other better spells. So I think my first step after I do my turn in for the floater and check what the sages have and check what Sarda has is then the Cardias.
So Budgemano asks a good question in chat. What is the XP scaling? And it is 10% per key item.
And what's the base scaling?
2.5. 2.5 plus 150.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have enough key items in my inventory yet for the bonus scaling to work out. And
right.
EXP chests I think are going to be very valuable. Provoca only having a heal 2x. Not that it's bad.
Oh, I'm not intending to do that. I'm not intending to do my grind immediately. I'm intending to find my grind. I'm intending to find if Desert has my grind.
I think this is personal preference. I think my only problem with that is I don't want to dip twice. I'd rather only dip once.
Fair.
Yeah. So. And there are other places we could be checking right now that I think we could get through with the loadout we have, especially if we pick up some EXP chests along the way, which is why I suggest Cardia. Normally, I am not a fan of going to Cardia if it's not incentivized, because I feel like... Oh, and Pirates have the slab. I feel like going to Cardia immediately is not worthwhile if you don't know if there's anything there. But we're 7 minutes in, and we can basically already start grinding for go mode. Like, I feel like you want EXP above everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. However you get it.
And Mecklin makes a secondary point. Says you can skip out of the way. You can skip spike tiles that you don't have to go over. If you know that Sandwich or Blue Stake exists.
I mean, that's true. I think the one reason why I would agree with you is that if they're early in the encounters and you can get one, but you can't defeat one, you could then go to, like, Volcano and see what the tiles are, and, like, Earth Cave and see what the tiles are at the Hall of Giants. And the thing is, like, I would be all for ice, or all for a desert grind right now if we had some ice spells, just so we could kill the sandworms, since they're more... Yeah. Like, we're on the cusp of me agreeing with you wholeheartedly, let's put it that way. But there are things that we can check. Yeah.
There are things we can check. And...
Dwarf Cave.
Dwarf Cave, all those items.
Yep, Northwest Locker. Elf Cave Locker. I think those would be good ones to do if you don't want to go to Cardia immediately. Game is encouraging us to go to Cardia immediately and do the desert grind, because we also picked up Slab, and we can, once we're in the air, we can do that. I don't... and see, we got one person who's renewed. Yeah.
I like Vaughn's play of going to check Sarda.
Yeah, no, you're in the air, and I think he's the only one in the air right now. So, I mean, Franklin's heading over that way, yeah.
Franklin's headed that direction. Siberian and Pac-Man going around the other way.
Which I don't necessarily agree with. They wanted to do Marsh, which, yes, you want to do Marsh eventually, but you're in the air. Go be in the air.
Yeah.
You're losing time if you're walking this. Yeah.
And Budge also makes a good point. Not everyone can cast Temper, find a big stick, and go.
That was my point.
We know where there is a big stick.
And the Temper is nameless. The Temper Dagger, Temper Sword, is that? What is that? I didn't see stats on it.
I didn't either. Oh, and Pac-Man finds... I'm not sure where Pac-Man is. Oh, that's the wizard tile. The wizard tile in Marsh Cave is Arngol.
I mean, that's lovely. You can kill it. I think with the Temper Swords that everyone seems to be using, I think you might be able to kill it nicely. That's the thing. The only thing I don't know is what that Temper weapon is. But I have a feeling it's something, because they can equip it, and because it's not labeled, that might be our Maza.
No, it can't be the Maza.
Okay, so what is it? This is a problem I'm having. I don't know what it is.
It can't be the Maza because Maza's a incentive.
Okay.
It could be. It could be a saber. It could be a scimitar. It could be rapier.
They don't have icons?
No, they won't. Those don't have icons.
Okay, so it's low level then. So that puts me back on the chart of. I don't trust those weapons just yet. He did take out the Iron Gall, which good for him. But I don't know that I'd think of that would be doable regular. I did look over the flags, but then I forgot all of it because that's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
What do we have here? Got an Invis sword that's something. Fire 2.
Be one of those lower level ones.
Yep. Still not seeing any ice, which I desperately want right now because I want that desert grind as soon as I have the levels for it. Yeah. No, I am fully on board with you on eventually doing it, even if it's just to take our party up to like 16, 17 and fighter focus it. But like just having those levels makes Ice Cave easier, makes Volcano easier. I only want to dip each of these places once. I don't want to get bounced out. So
yeah, don't want to.
Yeah,
don't want to get bounced out in. Don't want to get bounced out in Long Topher at Tia 2.
Mm-hmm. Vaughn reset out of the ship, which yes and no. Like on the one hand, I agree with the idea of not bothering to pull it out because you'd have to walk it out, but you also like lose that 10% bonus for the ship.
Yeah.
You have to balance, like, gotta think about that. I think in the long run, I think he's probably right, because walking it out feels slower than actually doing anything with it.
Yeah, and Adamant becomes Ribbon.
Yep. And TNT becomes the Cube.
Those are both really good finds.
I want to compliment Franklin. He knew Dwarves was here to open, but he waited until he had both items, which he got early, and so he only has to do Dwarf Cave once. That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's good routing.
That is fantastic routing.
Great right there.
We also know that the Ice Cave item is on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Is on the drop-down floor. Hey, Vanilla Mage tile.
What did Slab become? Because Vaughn turned it in and I missed it.
Slab
Maza
became one of the...
Okay.
Either the Maza or the... Okay, it is the Maza.
Yeah, Rubes is saying Maza. I'll trust that.
Fast,
which...
With fast on it.
Which, in that case, okay, your Desert Grind is looking far more viable. For any character, honestly.
Yeah.
Ooh, Vampire Pack here in Ice. Presumably on one of the tiles. They are not very strong. That looks like 150 HP. Maybe even 110. Yeah.
That's a good party. That's a pretty decent. It's on the Frosty Pack. And
ice.
there's our Ice spell.
So, I could see taking these vampires right now for like a few levels.
Up to about...
Not too many.
Since Siberian ran in at 10, I would say take it up to about 15 or so. Yeah,
the big issue is the fact that while vampires can go down easy because they don't have a ton of health, they can still hit really hard. he does have a heal 2x, which is going to help. It's helping to pop him up. Like 15, 17, somewhere around there. Any tile grind is a good grind so long as you're getting levels off them regularly. There's a Bane.
Yeah.
Which is nice. The second you don't start getting a level every fight, walk away from the fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Franklin reset out of the ship, and I can't blame him even more for that. Like, the EXP is nice, but he's in the air, so it's even less valuable to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and Franklin's gonna walk over and get that Mazza.
Yep. Feel real good about himself.
Did Franklin take a... No, Franklin did not take a black belt.
No, he is rocking Thief and 2 fighters, while Vaughn, who just found the bottle in the upper armory of Volcano, took 2 thieves and a fighter.
Okay. And...
Pomp helmet. That's good for carry.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he could do his Volcano dive and just walk straight down to carry if he's comfortable with his levels, which he has Mazza.
That's actually
doable.
No, Franklin's found... Oh, Franklin's gonna do it, too.
What's he doing? Oh, he found a stake. Nice.
Stake off the hard reset coming out of LaFane.
There it goes. That's his grind. Again, take it for a few levels and then see what's next.
Take it, and while you're taking it, figure out what you're doing next.
It's not too long a walk to the inn. It's not the closest inn. I think closest inn in the game is Crescent Lake.
Yes.
But it still doesn't feel too bad. But he's all... And there, here. Again, he's listened. You saw he didn't get a level off the stake. He walked away. Good job. Yeah. Very good job.
Temper stick there in Agama room for Vaughn.
Which is nice, except for the fact that I think he already has like 3 temper daggers. Or temper sabers, or whatever they are. Did we see what the bottle turn-in is? No, because I think the only person who has it is Pac-Man right now. So we'll see on that one soon. Yeah.
Pac-Man and Vaughn, yeah.
Yeah, and they haven't gone down there yet, so we'll see. And here we go, Vaughn already taken on carry because it's a blink and you miss it walk if you don't have to check any chests. Just an amazing walk if you don't have to check chests.
Yeah.
Ow. Yeah, Invis is good. That hurt.
And
309.
4 for 303.
And only 20 damage. His fighter is kitted nicely. Oh, that's that. Oh, good roll. Thank you, Carrie. Oh, he's got a ribbon. That's right.
Yeah, he's got that ribbon.
Yeah,
Vaughn's got that ribbon.
See how much that dropped. She was only doing 20 to 60 damage with those spells, while like 220 was landing on everyone else. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, that is massive.
And that technically gives Vaughn the lead right now because they have their first crystal lit.
Yep.
This is a tight race already.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And it's a really solid race. Franklin is going to check the armory chests.
I don't mind the way they're doing this. I think because you know that it's loose anywhere here in the dungeon, but there can only be one item here in the dungeon. Well, that, like, not checking the hairpins immediately is fine. Usually what I do is I'll do, like, a go in, check the 3 hairpins, reset, check the... Yeah.
It's loose specifically on the armory floor.
Yeah. So, and I think like, going for chest density is the right play. If you only knew it was somewhere in Volcano, I'd probably be willing to check the hairpins a little more. Do, like, quick resetting for it to do it better, especially with the early burn-off. But I definitely don't mind how he did it here. I think that's probably wise, and it's going to play out for him.
Yeah, that's... That's a solid way. That's a solid routing choice.
Yeah, no. Franklin's really impressing me here. Okay.
Yeah, Franklin's... And that's Blue Stake.
No, that's Tyro. I think that he has Color Shuffle.
Oh.
I know. Color Shuffle does that to me too. It's died like a Frost Wolf.
It's why I never play with Color Shuffle.
Exactly. Thank you.
I
agree.
Don't play with Palette Swap.
No. But anyway, no. Franklin is doing really well here. This is impressive.
I'm gonna say one thing on Siberian Bowl side. You parked one tile off.
Parking a volcano is weird, I agree. I do agree. You should park down a step, because the bottom 2 tiles of the volcano icon can't have encounters. So if you park down a step, not only are you going to avoid encounters when you walk into volcano, but you'll also be able to avoid an encounter when you walk out of volcano, as long as there's not one right on the floater or the airship tile.
Well, you park one tile further left from where Siberia. You park on the lower left tile, because when you beat Carrie and light the orb, you get bounced out on that tile.
You could park on the lower right, and it wouldn't really matter as far as that. You'd just be taking an extra free step, but you got to save those frames. So I want to talk about Siberian's routing here, because I feel like if you're gonna check these on this flag set, and all you're doing is looking for the key item, then you check the right hairpin before you go into the left, and if the item isn't in either of those, reset out, because walking that long hairpin route is just obnoxious.
It is.
It is. I have a very...
sword.
Yeah, that was really nice. I have a very specific route I pick for these things. When you're trying to not have to walk the hairpins too much, because the hairpin floor sucks.
Oh, there's hairpin.
Oh, God, hooray! Everyone, hooray!
Hooray! Those hairpin floors are just... Those hairpins are just... Ugh.
Yeah, they're the worst. Well, we did have a silver sled plus 7 there, so that's a nice shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got double fighter here. Getting a lockdown.
And Siberian gets that bottle.
Yep, Carrie punches and doesn't actually kill a thief, so that's another round that we can wait. Fast and Temper went out, and she gets 1 shot.
Yeah. Bye, Carrie.
Bye, Carrie. And he's already level 17. That is really nice. Franklin up in the air. Franklin has his crystal. That's 2 up. Gonna go buy supplies and move on. F-Cures and Blasts here at Crescent Lake item. Those F-Cures are actually really nice for Temple of Fiends. Conserve them and then use them in Temple of Fiends, and it's primo. Oh yeah, that is very first step as an encounter.
Yeah, it is the first step.
Very first step. That's crazy. Okay.
And that's gonna be the X-Cal.
Yep.
X-Cal plus 3 from the bottle.
Although I gotta be honest with you, already having a Mazda plus 7, temper, and fast weapons,
and there's the sandwich.
There's the sandwich. That's the grind. I'm just gonna say, and there are only 178 or less. That's killable. I was just gonna say, I'm not so certain that I would really worry about class change. Like, unless we find really good armor, I don't feel like class change is worth the effort.
Depends. Depends on if you have 2 fighters or 1 fighter.
Maybe.
If you have 2 fighters, if I have 2 fighters, I'm going to class change because I'm going to use the Massa on one and the X-Cal on the other.
I guess my only counterpoint to that is you got free tempers for all the characters. I think I'd rather use my second fighter as a temper bot. Put them up front with some decent armor on, but just have them be a temper bot.
I can see that.
Yeah. Because I'm not certain, like, especially against Chaos, like, I'm not certain the second sword matters as much as just raw damage.
Vaughn making the Ordeals play.
Cool, always bet on Ordeals. I mean, we know the floater can't be here, which it usually is, but always bet on Ordeals. Especially since we know most of the... I think all the freebie items are already out of the way, so... Is it third step, third pillar, or fourth pillar?
Other than Waterfall. It's 4.
It is fourth. I do like his Chrono Trigger sprites. Those are good looking.
Yes.
So everyone that did Volcano went to do Ice. Everyone that did Ice went to do Volcano. And now we have Vaughn at Ordeals, while Pac-Man is still
That's
canoeing.
Another fast sword.
Has Pac-Man not turned in his floater yet? This is interesting.
Yeah.
That feels like a massive time loss right there.
Yes.
Yeah, this is weird.
Opal bracelet, Opal Cheerio +3.
That is nice to find.
Great for that. Which is great for that thief ninja.
Yeah. So Vaughn is looking for an Oxyale and a Chime, Rod, and Loot. Those are his keys. Yeah. I think that's everyone at this point, because they've all basically taken the same path, more or less.
They've all more or less gotten the same.
Yeah. There's the loot. So that was what was Ordeals. Cool.
Okay, loot was out of Ordeals. I missed the turn-in, what the turn-in from...
I did too.
Herb got.
Give me 1 second. My cats are being disobedient.
Canal. That's a canal. So, as it turns out, ice was completely skippable. Well, I mean, other than the fact that it has steak in it. So that kind of feels not great. Lock 2 dagger, which Lock 2 dagger out of dwarf, which don't sleep on that. When you get a fiend at the end that gets real dodgy, a fiend in Topher that gets real dodgy, let's not sleep on Lock 2.
Lock is nice to have. They do have that available to cast to them, which is good.
Oh.
I really like their loadout already. Like, I really like it. I would bank on this if it were me, and I would just try and go as fast as possible without checking too many extra incentives. I'd actually feel bad at this point if I got the tail. So many temper weapons.
Yeah, so many temper sticks.
Yep. Like, I don't debate buying it early on, but it's also the thing of, man, I'd almost feel bad at this point if I bought some temper weapons.
Yes, and... yeah, PCM has not turned that floater in.
So yeah, Mechlin pointing out that the hint giver at Melmond is telling them about the useless canal. If they'd gone to the towns and checked the hint givers first, the second that they saw the herb, which, you know, would say Elfland has the canal, second that they saw the herb, I would be like, nah, I'm just resetting out of that, because that's useless. Yeah.
And Franklin gonna go make the Ordeals play.
We got the crown from something. I just saw crown up for a second, now my brain has missed where it was. Mechlin will tell us. Oh, waterfall.
Waterfall.
Waterfall. Okay. And yeah, I just want to check all the items as fast as I can. More than likely, the game is going to put Oxyale on the crown, because that's just how it works. So you'd have to double dip on Rack Continent.
Yeah.
Yep.
That or put the chime on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you have to then go over and put the Oxyale in Sky, Sky, Sky.
Yeah.
Oh, chime is in Earth.
Chime is in Earth. Early, too, apparently, because we could check it without the rod.
No, late.
Is it?
Apparently it was a hint.
Oh,
it's post-rod.
Hey.
Apparently it was a hint.
Well, it's good to know, at least. There was a hint somewhere. I feel that way about most of the game, Mechlin, honestly.
I did remember seeing a hint giver talking about chime, or talking about Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't remember what it said, what it had in Earth.
So, if we're building this flag set, Waterfall leads to Rod, leads to Chime, leads to Oxyale.
Yes.
Yes. That feels appropriate.
I think at this point that might be what it has to be.
We are getting there. And tail deep in sea. Well, then I'm not finding it because I'm not checking sea. I think the only thing we haven't checked yet is... Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, I'm not checking a single chest in sea.
No, we haven't seen what the crown turns into yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
We're just theorizing that it turns into, like, the rod.
Now, that does mean that the crown has to be something.
Yeah, Rod has to be something. Or Crown has to be something.
Crown has to be something.
And
Yes.
Pac-Man getting that ribbon. Ribbon +6. So it's even decent. It's even actually decent armor.
Yeah.
In addition to having all the resists.
7 points on your head. That's hard to find stuff that's much better.
Especially that's usable by not a fighter knight.
Yep.
Oh, that feels bad. If I remember how this worked out correctly.
Yeah.
That it was the last room before the stairs out. If you pick the wrong one, goes all the way back to the beginning.
Ouch. Kitten? Sorry, my cat is trying to play with my microphone cable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was the last room before the last room before the stairs.
Rough.
Goes all the way back.
Okay. So we do have an Oxiel that had to have come off of Crown, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oxiel at Astos.
So now we're looking for that tail. Vaughn naturally going with Krakenside first, because that's just the best way. If it's here, you can just exit afterwards and then not have to worry.
Yeah.
But knowing that...
And it can't be on mermaids, because mermaid prison.
Yeah. Why can't it be on mermaids?
Because mermaid prison and it's random unlocked.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So, I think it has to be tail here, because Rod and Chime... Well, we know Chime is behind Rod, and we still have a turn-in to do elsewhere, don't we? I think so. I guess Rod could be here, and then Tail could be in Sky.
Yeah, I think...
That might be how it works.
Has to be it.
I think that's the
Rod
path.
here and Tail in Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I'm not checking Sky at that point.
No, I'm skipping Sky. Sky is much faster if you don't have to check all the boxes, because you know it's going to be somewhere on Sky Spider, and no one wants to check that. Second ribbon.
Second ribbon is second ribbon. Now we have first ribbon.
Yep.
But what about second ribbon? And here goes Vaughn.
So Siberian's getting his carry.
Getting that carry fight.
I thought he had his crystal already marked. Did we just unmark it or mark it wrong?
Maybe we did? Question mark? We must
Apparently
have.
he reset back really far, so he must have lost progress somewhere. That sucks. That's a hard hit to take if you aren't saving at every place you go.
Yeah.
Like, out of habit, I just save everywhere, even if it's not a place I have to worry about. Like I will save before Sarda, even though, like, I know I need Sarda, and he can't kill me.
Yeah.
You just get in that habit of, I'm at an entrance, save.
As soon as I walk out of a dungeon, I save.
Yup, exactly. Anytime you go to an entrance, anytime you leave an entrance, you save. This game can be cruel like that.
Oh god, Sorks. Oh wait. This isn't vanilla touch. This isn't vanilla touch attacks. Vanilla scripts.
Someone got a little used to winter tournament flags.
Yeah, someone did get a little used to commentating winter tournament flags.
That is fair. Do also while we're talking about Siberian Bull, wish him a happy birthday. Not sure if it was specifically today or recently, but still, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to you. Well, it is not spoilers to say that the the finals flags for the Duckling Derby will be the Winter Tournament finals flags.
Mm-hmm. That tends to be our standard for these things.
Because it always is.
It always is. Although, you are...
+4.
You are one of our 2 new Duck Dons at this point, along with Rax. So, if you guys wanted to change up the formula, that is your choice to make.
Personally, I would rather not. I think it's a great tradition to keep that. Also, every year our Winter Tournament is our flagship event.
Mm-hmm.
So, using that as our finals flags for our ducks is I think a good thing.
So I missed already that Kraken fight, so obviously it wasn't that bad. Oh, Vaughn, I have to knock points off for you though. You took the wrong path to get back down. I did actually physically count the steps on this floor, and moving over and taking the straight path down there on that side of the mermaid side is faster by like 6 or 7 steps. It's actually substantial enough.
Oh wow! And there is our rod on the mermaid side.
We knew it had to be Rod. Rod then leads to Chime, that we know is at bottom of Earth, and that puts Tail in Sky. So yeah, that's everything we were expecting. And I think Vaughn's level 19 to 20. That's nice. Yeah, Vaughn's not even bothering with Mermaid Prison. He's just exiting.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be for gear, but he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm done.
No, we're good here. We're done.
Yeah, we're totally good.
And good call. No, I always get that backwards too.
Hmm?
Which side of the center the submarine is on?
Yeah, as Mecklin says in chat, Mazda +7 and 2 +6 ribbons. Like, you really just have to have much better gear for it to even, like, be a consideration to class change. And since we know it's buried somewhere in Sky and we don't want to check it, nah, we good. So Franklin has their Oxiel. They're about 3 to 4 minutes behind of Vaughn at this point, all things considered, because they got the full half path and a bit of sea to check. And then Vaughn is at Earth Cave with what we know as to be the lead right now. We do have 3 other players off stream that might be going faster, but we don't know. Vaughn has picked almost the perfect route, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaughn has routed this extremely well.
Excellently. He is proving himself to be one of the, as we like to say in the community, scary ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, someone else I can lose to next year for Winter Tournament.
I got to lose to someone in Winter Tournament who was still a duck.
Isn't that just the case? Yeah.
I got to lose to someone in Winter Tournament who was 1 round away from unducking during Winter Tournament.
Oh, it's fun. And isn't that just the way? But this also goes to prove that we can have all the knowledge in the world of this game and still just not be great at it. So we impart it to everyone else so that they can be better than us. There's our chime. And does Vaughn check anything else? Nope. Vaughn don't care. 3rd ribbon? Who gives a crap? We're just gonna move on.
Yeah, 3rd ribbon would be real nice, but...
That's about the only thing I would consider looking for is a 3rd ribbon, and even now, we've got 2. Whatever. We're fine. Yeah.
We've got 2.
We've got 2. We've got Invis.
Phoenixes.
Yeah, that's right. We've got Phoenixes, we've got Invis, we've got Lock, we've got Fast, we've got Temper. We're golden for this. I think we go in with, like, maybe at this point we want, like, level 22, 24, maybe. Get an extra hit on the fighter and a little extra health, but we're real close.
Yeah, putting 2 tempers on that. Oh.
Sleep. It's just sleep.
Okay.
It could be much worse. It's just sleep. think they're looking for the F gear to get them up immediately, although it's just sleep. They'd get up soon anyway. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is when you're asleep at the... Yeah. Yeah, when you're asleep at the start of the round, you don't get an action even if you stand back up. So, but Lich is gone. All that matters.
That's 20 and 21. Ugh.
You're close. You're so close. Maybe you try and pick up a couple of extra fights in the desert after you're done with Air Crystal, but I think that's about the only thing you think about. Yeah, and it's not much. You gotta go.
Yeah, I think you. I think you take fights in Sky.
Yeah, walking grind.
I think you walking grind in Sky, and if you're not, 24, not about 24. There's Blue Stake.
That's good enough. Let's just take that. Maybe one more if we could find it. Yeah, I think I would take the walking grind, but I would also be extra picky about it. Like a Catman pack, I'm gonna skip. The Mudgall Sorcerer pack, I'm gonna skip.
No, Vaughn. Actually, take those sandwiches. One step off the hard reset.
Sandwiches, I would take. He might just be thinking he takes it afterwards. And fair. Yeah, depending upon the level, because you've got to still walk through this dungeon first. But like 2 chimeras maybe.
But you take the sandwiches. You use an item in soft reset. You use a
but after
soft reset.
After, because you don't know what fights you're gonna get here. Heck, for all you know, you could get a Warmech and then be like, well, I don't need to grind anymore. I got a Warmech. So.
Yeah, I just don't like passing up the pinata like that.
I know, and I don't necessarily disagree, but no, Vaughn, stop, Vaughn, no, Vaughn, no, you don't want there. There we go. Yeah, just walk away.
Checks figures out that he is actually in go mode.
Yeah, no, he good.
Now we go. Not even checking greed checks. I would take this these. Fight.
Yeah, I would take this.
Oh, and
they are low. Yeah, that's nice. There's a Warmech. Taking the fighters, I agree with this fight as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm agreeing with Domino in chat. Forget the class change, it's got to go fast time.
But even here, I'm level 22, 23. I'm not even certain I care that much about the Warmech. I don't argue taking it, but I also don't think it's absolutely necessary.
It's also information.
It is. That is true.
It's also information of what is and is not in the, of what's no longer in the pool.
We got our robot chicken, quite literally. I mean, if Warwick wants to kill both the thieves before it dies, I wouldn't have complained.
Done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
27.
We're
you're
going
good now.
You're good. You're fine.
Yeah, we're going now.
We're totally fine now. And I don't debate not even picking up the thief if he doesn't want to. I think I just want to pump all the experience I can on them right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Ambush on the airs. Yep, you run from that.
I'm not taking another fight, even a 4 hydrants fight. I'm not taking.
No, not 4 hydrants. I would agree with that. I'm trying to think if there's. I might still take a fighter, just because it might be faster to fight them than to run. But otherwise, I'm out. Yeah.
Run fight. Run fight. I don't know that I even need to do a fast and temper. I just swing.
Well, I can see muscle memory, and it's better just to maintain it than to screw with it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't, well, and look at that, it didn't die.
Yeah, no.
Come on, Tia, just take out the thief so I can get that extra bit of experience. Come on. Okay, and that is go mode for Vaughn. He is good. Franklin's
Vaughn is
not
going directly to. Actually,
Franklin
is going directly to.
Franklin, I think, has lost time. I think they're at least 6 minutes behind now. And Pac-Man checked the right box first before coming over here. I mean, you're eventually going to check it anyway, but that feels like slightly weird floor routing. I'm really picky about my floor routing.
Yeah, I usually do check both chests on split, on C split. When I'm coming in, when I know it's random, random C split.
I feel like the density of it is not worth checking it if you're going to have to go check Mermaid floor after anyway.
For me, it's okay. Vaughn is looking to get gear back up, or gear consumables.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't dislike that play.
Looks like he's happy. He's gonna house, and we're gonna go in. Is this mid Topher?
We'll see in a minute. Yes, it's mid Topher.
Okay. I don't dislike the levels he has, but mid Topher is definitely easier than long.
Yes.
So I feel like he's high grinded for this. Maybe over prepared. Let's put it that way.
Well,
okay, temper fast.
I'm gonna say Vaughn went from under to over by
Mhm.
taking that War Mech.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I would be like if the War Mech went fast enough, but if it comes down to a difference of like 1 minute between him finishing and someone else, that's the War Mech that did it.
And Lich 2 is down. Don't
Mhm.
worry if you missed it. Don't worry if you missed it, you probably blinked.
It took 2 swings. That was more than I expected. So for those of you that haven't seen Mid Topher before, the floors are there's not only less floors in there, a bunch of the middle floors are taken out, but also all the floors except for Tia have shortcuts. So you'll notice these floors are going by real fast because Mid Topher is actually real quick.
Yeah, and the only reason Tia doesn't have a shortcut is that it's a short floor already.
The only link to it is whether or not you want to go for Mazza. So here's Earth Case Lich 1 for Franklin.
And carry 2 down for Vaughn.
Mm-hmm. I want to say Pac-Man has to have some orbs already. He can't have gone this far without lighting any of them.
I mean, it's possible if you
Possible.
just went in to do volcano. Went in,
Yes.
just check the.
I guess that feels a little bad because. Okay.
But I agree. I think Pac-Man has to have at least Fire Orb lit.
I would think. I could swear I saw him fight them. We'll check if we can see their pause menu. Like, even the ducks at this point menu too fast for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for me to check doing commentary.
Yep. Okay, Kraken being nice with just a Lightning 2 already has taken at least 500 damage. We're going to just keep tempering, because why else would you do anything except temper? Kraken's down.
2 down.
Yep.
Gee, maybe I should pull up the race room and
Let's see.
for when this finish is about.
Rube's pointing out that all the fiends seem to be going Lightning 2 early, which you don't mind seeing. It's less damage you have to heal, and it's less to worry about. Yeah.
And
Franklin and Sky now.
With fast temper coming out, and those swings coming out real fast on that Mazza. There goes Tia 2.
Yeah, I literally looked away for a second, and Tia was already dead. So we're going into Chaos now.
Yes. Yes, so much nicer than punch delete.
Yeah. Okay. And we're into the Chaos fight. So we're gonna do pretty much what we've been doing the whole time. We're gonna actually get a double invis and a ruse, just in case. Don't hate that.
I don't dislike that at all.
You've got F here so the fighter can heal themselves if need be. And I would probably stop with the evasion at this point and start going in for. He's gonna fast and 2 more invis. Oh, attack down. That landed.
I don't hate it.
So you're completely evaded at this point. You're fine. You're gonna have to fast again because that slow 2 landed right on the fighter.
Yep.
Okay. Not that we can't Phoenix, but we definitely don't want to see the zap land.
And
we're just gonna keep
now
buffing.
we're temper swing.
Yep, we're just gonna keep buffing while the fighter is gonna swing out. And that was 872 damage. 1 to 2 more hits should do this at this point.
1262.
That's over 2,000 damage, so we're just looking at one more round. Like, his fighter is just destroying now.
And
another
1202, and that'll do it.
Yep, that is a GG for Vaughn at 49:30 something.
49:33 is the official time for Vaughn, which puts him first overall.
This was a jet seed. That was crazy fast.
Yeah.
First overall, and I mean, look, his routing was, I think, almost picture perfect.
Immaculate.
Yeah, I can't think of almost anything he did that was wrong. Except for that one little time he almost started checking chest and sky, but he even caught himself.
Yes.
So, yeah, no. Like, we're talking seconds, maybe, and that was it. So,
yeah.
We should see if he wants to come in. Oh, no, I think he said he can't come in for an interview. So, just GG's to Vaughn, then. That was fantastic. Yeah. So good.
Wow.
Yeah, just absolutely wrecking.
And now Franklin's about to head into that...
I missed that he was even at Tia. Dang. So... Oh, yeah, Vaughn is in chat. GG's, well done. That was perfect. If you have any thoughts on the seed, feel free to type them in here.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
That is fair. No microphone set, and other folks at Vaughn's house are sleeping.
Okay, Pikmin just... I keep saying Pikmin. Pac-Man just picking up the rod.
Yes.
And I'm assuming the trackers were checking for the crystal, so if he only has water crystal checked, then I'm going to assume that's the case.
No, Vaughn, it's fine. It's fine. I probably would too.
Good. Yeah, you were so in it at that point, but you caught yourself. That's the key. Like, before you even started opening boxes, you caught yourself. So even if you did space a little in Sky, you recovered quick, and it didn't affect anything. You still got first overall, so... Yeah, checking the leaf and weapon was perfect. Like, I think we all agreed with that play. You had Slab, you were in the air. Why not burn Slab off almost immediately?
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Getting the canoe and the...
Floater.
Getting the canoe and the floater in, like, the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, they were in the air in 7 minutes. That was insane. Okay, we need to remind Franklin that Mid-Topher has a shortcut for Kraken that is faster than this.
Yes.
Yes. It's a difference of 7 steps.
I can't get on him too much on it, because I thought that was the short way for the longest time.
Someone had me measure. It's a difference of 7 steps. Which, 7 steps in the long run, so it seems like not a big deal, but if you get a fight in those 7 steps...
And Pac-Man in the air.
Yep. They're not that far behind at this point, so...
No, really not.
I'll want to talk to them about, like, how it all played out for them, because that's a little weird, but still, yeah. I have questions.
Oh, those phoenixes are expensive.
Yeah, you don't buy too many, but there it is. Franklin has taken out Kraken. None of the fiends really seemed all that bad in Topher, so, like, this seed laid out almost perfectly. Yeah, we did note that you reset out of Marsh, Vaughn, and then... it looks like you reset out of Ice too, because you already knew not to take the herb, so that was... Like, your routing was immaculate. It was perfect.
Yeah, that was as good as it got.
Mm-hmm. And you had Slab early, so going and checking the Melman Hint Giver and then discovering herb was going to turn into Canal. And then you went and you did the turn-ins for it, and when you got to Ice and saw the herb, that was perfect. Like, I don't think I even fault you for going to Ice, because I think you kind of had to, because you couldn't know what, like, one was going to connect to the other. without like checking it.
You couldn't know without checking it that that ice was going to be herb.
Yep. And it was early enough in the thing that you couldn't gamble on that. You had to check it. And yeah, you almost skipped Warbeck, and I wouldn't have faulted you if you did. But DM was behind you actually doing it, so.
And because I thought you were a little lower than I would have you were a little lower than where I would have been comfortable, even in mid Topher. Now, granted, that Warmech put you well above.
Okay, we're already fighting. We're still buffing. We got 598 from that first swing. Chaos is not doing much of anything, so yeah, just keep buffing and swing.
Yeah, keep buffing and swinging.
Still putting some evasion in, but I would probably start skipping that now. 1421, yeah, he has even more damage in than Vaughn did the previous time. So yeah, slow down. Slow 2 lands on someone we don't care about. Oh darn! Second swing, dead.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. What's Franklin's time? What's his place?
And Franklin is second overall with 5502.
GG
Franklin.
So we'll try and see if we can get Franklin in for an interview.
And
GG's.
Siberian making that run through see? GG Franklin.
GG's.
That was really fun with the early floater.
Right? We were just talking about that.
And Pac-Man picks up that shine.
Sorry, I got you saying it now too.
Yeah.
So tell us your thoughts. Like, get in some detail for us.
My routing was thrown a bit out the window. I felt like I did it mostly decent. I checked all the hints. I made note that herb was useless, but forgot about it by the time I got it in ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mid-Topher thing, I was in such a go-go-go mode that I did a little bit of a panic, where I was like, okay, usually I go to the right, but it's mid-Topher, so I go to the left. And then I took a few steps and then realized, oh wait, but at that point, it was already faster to just keep going.
I get you.
That was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you cranked through it pretty quick, yeah.
I mean, sub hour on any of our Duckling Derby on any of our Duckling Derby flag sets is probably going to be real good.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Group A. So just to remind everyone, this is Group A of the Duckling Derby. We will have Group B tomorrow morning at,
10:30 Eastern.
10:30 Eastern.
10:30 Eastern. Or as we like to think of it, FFR Standard.
Yes, 10:30 FFR Standard Time.
Yes. So how are you feeling? Like, this is the second place where you're going to have a good chunk of points. I think you're going to have 12 coming out of this. And that gets you a nice, comfortable little bit of a lead over some other people. Like, do you feel good about this? Are you feeling like you're still on edge? Like, you just have to make it to finals. You don't have to necessarily beat Vaughn in your group.
Yeah, so me and Vaughn are kind of like training partners.
Oh, wow, okay.
So for me, this is the best case scenario, because I knew that I have bad habits with Mage on a Stick, especially with inventory management and spending too much time worrying about spells and all sorts of various related things. So I was expecting Vaughn to get a better time than me. So getting second place, I'm feeling really good about this.
Siberian picks up that rod out of C.
There we go. That's good to see. So, if you're trading...
So that's definitely a case of Arn sharpens Arn.
Mm-hmm. If you're trading partners with them, have you only been focusing on this flag set, or have you played anything else yet?
For me specifically, since Lefenian League has been going on, I've only been practicing this flag set a few times. The last practice I did today, I was able to shave off a lot of the bad habits, and this time I was able to shave off almost all of it. And I kept my loot goblin mostly under control, and I made the right call on how much to dig for the tail, which I was really happy about.
Awesome. for those not in the know, Lefenian League is our async league that is running in the background right now. It happens twice a year. I honestly feel like Lefenian League is great practice for anyone, even if you're not practicing the flag sets, you're just practicing skill.
Yes.
Do you feel it's helped you, Franklin?
In the short term with this particular race, it hasn't, because that time would have been better spent with the actual Derby flag sets. But I think in the long term, post-Derby, when it's not stealing my time from practicing those flags, it is going to be extremely helpful. And it's also just a lot of fun.
I remember when you came in originally, like, as a fresh-faced little duckling at the time. I mean, you've improved so much right now. I don't, like, from a couple years ago, I don't see you making a 55, but here, you just cruise through this flag set.
Yeah.
My hope is that I will graduate from the being a duckling after the Derby, and then I will sit in a voice chat with some buddies and watch my old VOD review that you did where I forgot to kill Sarah. And watch see how much I've improved since then.
Absolutely, that's gonna be great.
And I'm feeling pretty great about the standings, especially looking at the way the rest of the race time GG room is, which I think we'll talk about once the next person finishes on stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll announce the next finishers once one of our two finishers here finish on stream. We don't want to do any spoilers yet. So, because we do have 7 runners in this with a point range from 14 to 7. So, like, even if you get last place, you're still really tightly in competition because you never know how the next 3 races are going to go in your group. The top 2 from each group will graduate to the finals, and then finals is winner take all.
As long as I don't miss a race or a DNF, I'm feeling good. But if either of those things happen, it would be devastating to my points.
So just to read from Vaughn in chat, he said a few things. Muscle memory was stronger than my reaction to seeing the sandworms and desert grind right before I entered Sky, which is fair. That explains why they didn't take the fight. And they didn't need it because they got a Warmex, so who cares? They've done a bunch of seeds together with Franklin. Before Derby flags were released, they were focusing mostly on Floaterless and Winter Tournament, which Winter Tournament practice is going to come in handy for finals if you make it there. Floaterless was not exactly the useful thing here.
But it will be useful next week.
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
Next week is floaterless.
That's fair. I just think it's funny. I've been doing practices of floaterless, and then you get, like, the earliest floater almost that you could.
As I said, it threw off my routing quite a bit.
Right? Yeah, no, I get that.
When Vaughn beat me by 5 minutes, I knew it was going to be due mostly to better routing.
Yeah. Did you take, I know 2 players took right side on stream. No, left side on stream around Circle C. Were you one of the 2 that did that?
I think I went right side.
Right side? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think...
Yeah, I went straight right side because I had Canoe, went to...
Yeah.
I had Canoe and Floater, so there's no reason to not go
There's
right
no reason.
side, right?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was... We'll discuss with the other runners when we get them, just to see why their thought process was on that. But it definitely felt like a massive time loss, especially when March was just not even needed.
The biggest thing about going from Duckling to Platypus is that going right side with an early Canoe becomes way less scary.
Yes. I think a lot of the game becomes way less scary once you have a little bit under your belt. You can... I'd be interested in your thoughts about it, but, like, early in my time as a Duckling, going into Marsh and getting, like, wiped by some AoE spell felt so rough and almost, like, defeating at times, and I think that affected my times just because I was trying to hype myself to go back in and do a second or a third dive. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I got rather lucky with my first couple dozen seeds that I did in terms of, like, stupid marsh things. But early on, I watched 2 runs or 2 races or VOD reviews or runs of some kind per 1 seed I did. Switched to a 50-50, switched to, like, a 2-to-1 as time went on. I think that helped a lot. And the few times that there was some sort of nasty thing in Marsh, I was able to get over it.
That's good.
But
it
didn't happen too often, so it wasn't discouraging.
That's actually a good training plan.
Yeah, watching VODs helps a lot. I remember coming in for a duck as myself, we had Spring Tournament 2017 and 2018, which the flags had already changed so much from, like, 2017 and 2018 that, like, skill-wise, just knowing what to expect was already different. But just seeing the maps and understanding routing of maps from those was really helpful. I think watching in general can be really helpful, just because you're picking up stuff you wouldn't even realize was a thing.
Yeah, my big advice to anyone who's new who wants to get good, watch other people play a lot early on and then slowly wane off of it, but never stop because you'll keep picking stuff up from that.
Yeah.
But then even bigger, once you've played a dozen seeds and watched a couple dozen VODs, you want to make your practice as deliberate as possible, because if you don't, you're going to decline the speed at which you improve. So choose a couple things to get really good at, whether it be routing, not loot gobbling too much, or for me, it was encounter manipulation was one of the first things I chose to get really good at. Oh, and potion menuing. Although hopefully potion menuing isn't going to be as big of a thing that you have to learn in the future as the improved potion menu flag becomes more standard.
That is so busted. Like, I'm not normally one to bitch about improvements for various, like, parts of the game. Anything that can improve the experience is great, but potion menuing is so busted with improved potioning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually don't like the improved potion menuing because it screws with my muscle memory.
Yeah, it's I think that's one of those things that we're gonna have to, like, as a community, test out more and try. But I've seen some people do menuing that is so fast that is just, it's crazy with it.
Yeah, it's really fun to put the B button in with the fast potion menuing. And for a little bit, I was worried that it was going to bias me in terms of that potion menuing flag becoming a thing. But then I started doing it with Lafinian League. One of the flag sets, the Nova World one, had it. And I realized, even though I waste a bunch of potions and half the time I do my regular potion menuing anyways because I forget about it, it's such a good flag that I'm willing to put by the skills of potion menuing I've had to help make it more standard.
Want to point out, Siberian is now in Go mode, and they just went to Chris.
Pac-Man is in Topher.
Yeah, Siberian's now in Go mode, and he just went and spent all the money he could on full cures. And yeah, Pac-Man is in Topher now, so we're gonna see how they do on their first dive. Hopefully it goes as well as everyone else's, because like this was kind enough. It would be bad to realize, wait, there was something behind one of these themes we didn't see.
No, Franklin, all the GGs to you.
It's fantastic.
Thank you. I was really worried about this race. I'm feeling good about the other flag sets, I think. Although there's a couple that I haven't even touched yet.
Yeah, I would focus more on placement right now. Like, yes, you were 6 minutes behind Vaughn, but you kind of know what you did and where you lost time. But you got second place. So, like, second place is second place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just focus again on, like, your loot gobbling, focus on your routing. There are things you could improve, but overall, like, you did really well. So, like, we could, like, anything I'm saying is just a nitpick because I'm a picky person. So don't take it too seriously.
And Siberian's definitely got the levels.
Yeah.
I will make one nitpick at you, Franklin. On the second floor of Marsh Bottom, if you go around the left side, it's fewer steps.
It is.
It also gives you the opportunity to walk in front of the door and get the free step in front of the door.
Yeah. We really are to the point of just saving frames by tiny step routing. Yeah. It's crazy how into it we are at this point. This is where we're at right now. Like, I watched. You
were also going to talk to him about Kraken Floor.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one part where my step routing isn't near perfect.
Yeah, you lose about 7 steps there, and you know it. And I think I've talked to you about it before.
I thought it was the other sea floors, the Kraken Floor specifically.
Yeah, Kraken Floor. You lost 7. Yeah. Mid Topher has a better shortcut, and you take the slightly longer one. I think.
That's why. Yeah. No, I already discussed that. I thought you meant Kraken Floor and C, because that was one of the few C floors that I have perfect routing.
Yeah, no. Topher,
okay,
not on Kraken Floor.
Kraken Floor, that was an unusual mistake for me. Usually I do that correct.
And Siberian making the same longer routing.
And doesn't walk along the floor for doors, which is even... Like, he also didn't walk in front of doors on Lich floor. Like, there's a few steps here and there that are being lost. I'm picky about this.
Especially because Lich floor is so easy to route.
Yeah, it is.
To route correctly in mid-Topher.
Like, I suck at this game in comparison to some runners, so I have to be on with my step routing. It's the only way to catch up.
yeah, me too.
Yep.
Me too. I didn't get out of Duckling by finishing top 4. I aged out of Duckling.
I feel that. That's big mood there. I was part of the... I think that's longer. That is longer.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's a few extra steps there. It's fine. Yeah, I was part of the very first Duckling class that we hosted like this, where there was a graduate out tournament, and it was when, like, each week, certain players would, like, get dropped, and I made it to second week, and that was graduation week, and there were still 2 more weeks, and I immediately got tanked out. So I only got, so...
I thought of one more thing that I think might be a little bit iconic for me, but could also be helpful for a lot of newer players.
Mm-hmm.
When I was starting out, I was really focusing on learning my encounter manipulation. Someone recommended that I watch some of Crabcake's games.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing, my big recommendation isn't necessarily to watch those, even though you probably should. But specifically from Crabcake's games, I noticed the door glitch, figured out what it was, and I started doing it because it was fun.
It is funny.
Then I realized that I could use it to my advantage to curb my bad habit of equipping things right away instead of when I'm leaving the room.
Yep.
So I started what I call the door glitch technique, where unless it's a ribbon or a masa or something incredible that you want to equip right away no matter what, always wait until you get into the doorway, enter your menu, equip all your stuff, and then door glitch, and it's a bonus.
Okay, we got 2 chaos fights going on. We got buffing going on, already swinging for 1,000 damage over on Pac-Man's side. And we're gonna see what... Okay, that's another round of buffing for Siberian. And it looks like the Thief is the one swinging here. 2 swings for all the damage, and Pac-Man is finished. What's official time?
Our official time for Pac-Man is 5th place overall with 111.40.
Lovely.
Third place is Laffy at 55.37. 4th is Fiera Star at 103.57.
GG, says Pac-Man, with a massive swing for...
Do I hear Siberian Bull finishing up now, too?
Yep, with a massive swing for all of Chaos's health at once. Siberian just finished as well.
111 in 6th place with a time of 111.59.
So despite having that bad reset, they still managed to pull through and come pretty close to Pac-Man.
Yeah.
That's pretty great right there overall. We'll see if we can get them both in for an interview. And that's a finish for everyone on stream. I think last I looked, we only had one person still looking to finish.
There is one still going.
So, GG's to all the players. That was fantastic overall. Really great runs.
Yes, excellent runs.
So let's see if we can get them in for interviews, and then we are good to go.
And once again, thank you to Mechlin89 and Rax for tracking tonight. GG.
Thank you. I wish I had remembered that the floater existed most of the game.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were expecting that.
Yeah, no, I blanked that I had it. I'm like, oh, I got the boat. I can get here. I can get to Ordeals. I can go here and the docks. And then, as I was leaving on rack that last time, I was like, oh, wait. I can get the floater.
So that explains that. It also like, so let's put it this way: that cost you about 20 minutes, but it could have cost you a lot more. So
Yeah.
GG's on remembering.
Yeah, no, I mean, I figured out what it was after, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I couldn't get to places I wanted to be,
Mhm.
and you know, that's kind of the downside there. But I got to where I wanted to be and was able to get to places, so it wasn't like front of my mind. Oh, I gotta go grab this. Although those wolves with thunder and I think stone or whatever,
Ooh.
those
Yeah.
were nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately you had to like walk the ship out. You had to follow certain other items that I think other players reset out of just because you didn't remember the floater, which
Yep.
we've all been there. It's like forgetting to talk to Bick afterwards. Sometimes you just memory hole something.
There were iron golems there. I mean, if I really needed to grind them.
And Siberian Bowl.
There was also sandwich. There was also sandwich right outside of Mirage Tower on the first step.
Yep.
Yeah. Siberian Bowl, GG's to you as well. You had a bad reset, we think.
Oh, it was a terrible reset.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, you finished. Good GG's on that. And
I'm still not happy because in my mind I was being uber aggressive because coming out of Volcano the first time, my brain was like, okay, I'm rich. I want those gold circles and those pro rings, but I couldn't remember where they were. And when I reset, I'm like, I didn't save coming out of Volcano. So so that's like 10-15 minutes lost.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and that reflects in your time, which still, I mean, a good time, a 110 on a flag set like this is fantastic anyway. But yeah, I think that's just one of those things of muscle memory of like, I don't care what I'm gonna do next, save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I will tell I will dunk on myself a little. Vetting the Duckling Weekly seed for the first week of the boot camp, I had a bad reset coming out of my last orb dungeon.
it happens. It's rough when it happens, but we have all been there. So I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. Like, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks when it happens in a race, but you recovered really well.
There's a hole in my wall. That's where my fist went through when it happened.
Oh, I feel that. I will tell you, I had a race where I was like, the game pushed you towards a couple dungeons, and I went for Lich early one time. And you're like, oh, it's Lich 1. What can Lich do? Lich had Blaze. I lost 5 minutes, and I quit at that point. So the takeaway is that you did really well because you didn't just quit.
Oh, you have no idea. I looked at my screen for like a minute. It's like, screw it. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, no. GG's to you for that, because like the instinct to just be like, nah, I'm good. Whatever. I'll take my 2 points and move on. I would have felt that. I'm honest with you on that.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah, never went to. Yeah, I was happy about never going to Marsh.
Yeah. Apparently, it was shipping. No one needed to be there. Unfortunately for Pac-Man, that was his way of clearing the scene. I'm sorry, Pac-Man. That sucks.
I mean, I at that point, the reason I turned around after Provoca is I didn't want to go through the rivers. I wasn't sure if I didn't feel comfortable with that. So that's why I was like, I'll just go around.
Yeah.
And then, we'll just hit and check Marsh, because I don't remember what I had at that point, or if I had any hints for there, but I'm just like, oh, hey, it's the boat. Great. And then, that's kind of where things went, but...
Yeah. I think you're never going to forget Floater again, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or buying shop items after that one a while back.
Yeah, no, I feel you. So, looking at things, I think you guys all did really well. I don't have, like, a lot of notes, especially now that we know what happened for each of you. DM, do you have anything else for our runners?
On Kraken Floor of Topher, go along the top. Go right away.
Take the right shortcut. Yep.
Yeah, take the correct shortcut.
Yep.
Make sure you're making use of all your free steps. Lich Floor in Topher is the easiest floor to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Go straight up till you hit till you hit the wall. Go straight to the right. It'll take and go straight down.
So we're hearing from Inferna, our 7th place finisher, that they didn't even get floater. So I think they memory hold Canaria locked. And they still finished in 127 on basically what they had to force themselves through a floaterless seat. So GG's to them as well.
GG.
Yeah.
Getting ready for next week, I heard. That's what I get.
Yeah, I mean,
doing too.
practice for floaterless, I guess.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we can probably do with final thoughts. Yeah.
Franklin.
Something a little bit crazy happened. A practice seed that I did earlier, there was a Ruby and Canaria shop item. And this time, it was again, except this time it was only useful for getting in the chest since early floater. But it's crazy that happened twice in a row.
Earliest shop item you could get, earliest key you could basically get, and then Canaria locked had floater and canoe was right after. Like the seed was perfectly laid out.
It was quite an interesting seed.
Yeah. Pac-Man.
It was a good seed. I had fun with it. Enjoyed it. I just need to. I didn't realize fast. Like I didn't put in my head that fast was. Well, at the point I didn't realize it was Excal or Masa, but I kept checking shops because I was looking for fast, and just got to remember to note what things are if I run this type of seed again.
So on a mage on a stick seed. So I'll give you a tip. The way you figure out what the actual weapons are, is to go in. You hit select on your weapon screen.
I was meaning, like the hint told me that fast was in Lethane, and I just at that time wasn't quite sure, and I should have realized, okay, if it's one of these, it's not going to be in the shop too. Is kind of what I meant.
In fairness to you, I didn't even realize that if it's actually incentivized, it can't be in a shop. So that caught me.
Yeah, I found that in one of my practice seeds where similar thing happened with Temper, and so that was kind of how I figured it out in that, and so I just didn't realize it while I was running it this time either.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing here for 7 years now, and I still am learning crap. So,
Siberian.
GG's to you all. And thanks to you guys and Speed Gaming for doing the comms, doing the tracking, doing the hosting, and all that. And thanks to everyone coming out.
Okay, and then Vaughn has said their final thoughts. Yes. Really fun seed. Thank you for putting the restream together. This was a totally different experience than any practice seed I did. I'm sure very true. This was crazy fast. DM, final thoughts.
This was an absolute jet.
It was
super fast.
Super jetty.
So, GG's to all 7 of our runners here in Group
GG's.
A. Group B tomorrow morning at 10:30 Final Fantasy Randomizer Standard Time. That's 10:30 Eastern. Keep on. There's 3 more weeks of the Duck Boot Camp after this week. We'll have Duckling Seed coming out on Monday. That is our week 2 flags. The boot camp went really well, and I'm glad for all of the people that were running the boot camp and the Platy Party.
Yep.
Thank you to Speed Gaming for letting us for the use of their channel. And come on out and join the Discord, join the community. It is one of, if not the best randomizer community on the internet.
We appreciate that. I will do the standard outro. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, come to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, where you can find links to the Discord and development Discord, as well as the game itself and all the resources you need to learn how to play. As DM Stewart said, the Duck Derby will be going on for another 3 weeks. Group A will be competing on Saturdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is FFR Standard Time. Group B is competing in the mornings to 10:30 p.m. No, it's in the morning. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is FFR Standard Time. We got 3 more weeks of this, and then we're heading into more of the Lefenian League, plus co-op will be coming up soon, and of course in June 13th through the 15th, plus a pre-show on the 12th, we will be doing the first ever live FFR Rando Marathon. That is going to be great fun, live from Charleston, West Virginia, in support of the Liam Foundation. We want to see all of you guys come out and give us all your love, and maybe give Liam just a little bit of your money for charity. So from all of us here at Final Fantasy Randomizer and the rest of the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I hope this was a great show, and we hope to see you as part of our community coming up real soon. Thank you guys, and we will see you all next time.